in budget making, you look at the money you have, then you distribute it among the ministries that exist, because every sector requires resources. So what we are saying is that we look and see how to budget with the funds that are available to ensure that education gets the funding that it requires. And that will start with MPs. It actually starts with us as a ministry presenting what we require, and then they'll work towards it from what they have, so that then we can have as much money as possible to support that program. But there is, in this country, a tendency of people just taking things out of context and making a story out of it, which is not there. Nobody, for example, nobody has ever said that we are reducing the money from 22,000 to 1,600. That was, I don't know where you got that from. Even my colleague never said anything close to that. But that is what you pick. So I would like you to give Kenyans the true position. You are all products of the education system. I don't know why everybody is so hell-bent on painting education as failing in this country, when even the English you are speaking, it is English that you've gotten through that education system.
Well, it's definitely good to hear, a different story from what we had heard before, that the capitation was going to be removed, and secondary and primary school students are going to go back to paying school fees. Even as the teachers' unions actually threatened that they were going to, push their heads of schools to force parents to pay school fees so that they can be able to run the schools. They're saying their members are unable to run schools because the capitation is not getting to them. Now, elsewhere, allies of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua filed an application at the Independent Policing Oversight Authority over targeted attacks by the police when they are out on tours in various parts of the country. Led by DAPK leader Eugene Wamalwa, the leaders took issue with consistent police roadblocks and the use of tear gas to disrupt the convoys and meetings, saying it is targeted political attack to weaken their political muscle. Rigathi Gachagua has condemned Sunday's attack on his allies, blaming the state for sending the officers against leaders who opposed to the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Because they shot around 6 times when we were lying down, the two of us. And they told us to shout totem. And unless we shout totem, they are going to kill us. And they pointed the guns at us, myself and my driver. So basically we had to say totem so that we can be safe.
If there was any crime that had been committed, then we are members of parliament and we are leaders in this country. We can be invited to any police station anytime and we'll go and record statements. But this kind of violence, Honorable Chair, if IPOA does not reign on these rogue police officers, then we don't have a country.
We are entering that critical stage, Honorable Chair. You have been in IEBC. What Krigler talked about, 2 years to the election. We are entering that period. In another 2 weeks, we'll be entering that period. So any situation that would allow pre-election violence will be a threat to our democracy.
As a former chair of IBC, I think I don't like where it's going. It's going to get bad, and I think we need to have even you guys as the political leaders, perhaps you need to find a way of engaging with your counterparts, if you can.
Well, let's see what action is going to be taken. We ask the Lord to, to intervene in most of these cases so that, when a precedent is set, like in Malawi, where a president jailed a president, and then from that time, it's just been one president after the other. I mean, they're just jailing one another. It's just ridiculous. And so when we set a precedent, we have to be careful, because that precedent can follow us later on. Now, Health Cabinet Secretary Aiden Duale has issued a sweeping directive for nationwide hospital reforms following what he termed a system failure at Kenyatta National Hospital, which led to the tragic death of Edward Maingi Ndegwa. Addressing journalists at the hospital, Duale described the incident as unacceptable and extended the ministry condolences to the Ndegwa family. The CS acknowledged growing public concern over safety in public health institution, saying the ministry is taking immediate action to address systemic lapses. Duale directed all national referral hospitals to conduct a full security audit and implement corrective measures, including improving CCTV surveillance in sensitive hospital areas.
What happened at Kenyatta Hospital is unacceptable. It exposed systems vulnerabilities that must be addressed, and that's why we are here. And on behalf of the Ministry of Health, I really want to extend my condolences to Mr. Edward's family and loved ones. We're going to introduce in all our referrals, which the CEOs will communicate from today. Number one, by making sure we have upscaled our CCTV coverage in all places and more so in sensitive areas. We must have some sort of traceability of the patients that come to our hospitals. It will never be again where you drop a patient and you go away. No. From the moment you enter the gate, we'll record your vehicle, we'll record your ID card, and you will record the same with the person receiving that patient. And on that, I have instructed hospitals to work closely with the Ministry of Interior, our chiefs, and community leaders, so that together we can trace families and arrange this dignified discharge and place those who cannot be reintegrated into care institutions across our country. To our healthcare workers who are working in our referral hospitals, you are the backbone of our system. I urge you to renew your commitment to the oath of service. Treat every patient with urgency, dignity, and empathy.
Well, that's definitely something that needs to be done, so that we don't have the situations we've had where people are lost, lose their lives in hospitals, murdered by other patients. Now, Clinzy Baraza Masinde, you remember the guy? The police officer charged with the murder of mask vendor Boniface Mwangi? Well, he's pleaded not guilty. Masinde appeared before the Milimani law courts after undergoing a mental assessment and was okayed to take plea. The court ordered the prosecution to file bail within 7 days and the family of the victim to reply to the application within 7 days. Assistant Director of Investigations attached to the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, Sarah Mwea, recommends death penalty if Baraza is found guilty. IPOA further urged the court to conduct witness threat assessments on 2 key witnesses who were deemed vulnerable. Baraza is accused of killing hawker Boniface Kariuki during the June 17th Nairobi protest over extrajudicial killings. That should be an example. That should be a warning to police officers, and not just police officers, anyone that kila mtu anabebanga msalaba wake. Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has raised a red flag over the existence of goons and criminal gangs in Trans Nzoia County. Murkomen said some of the goons were being financed by political leaders in the county. Addressing the press at the Trans Nzoia County Commissioner's office in Kitale, the CS said all criminal gangs and hired goons in the county are already on the radar of security agencies. For the last few weeks, the county has witnessed several political meetings being disrupted by goons, the recent one being an event that was being hosted by the County Woman Member of Parliament, Lillian Sioi.
As witnessed in the recent past, a great rise of goons, politically generated and facilitated goons that are causing havoc in meetings, giving problems to law enforcement. Political leaders, each one of them are hiring some goons. It starts like bouncers and then moves slowly. They become criminals that are making public meetings impossible here, funerals, places of fights, and then, they are incentivized by the money they paid. They also get drugs and they get alcohol. I have also asked the county security team to work with the elected leaders here to ensure that all the goons that have been hired and those that are about to be hired are all dismantled, everybody to go and do their own business, and they be given something else to do instead of engaging in this goonship. Pia nataka kusisitiza ya kwamba idara ya polisi wako na jukumu kuhakikisha kwamba mtu yoyote mwenye atajaribu kunena maneno yenye itagawa wa Kenya atachukuliwa hatua ya kisheria, na ninawaomba kotini, wakati tutakaopeleka hao watu katika kotini, msipatie tukumbuke benye tumetoka na msipatie bail terms ya chini. Lazima mtume ujumbe kwa Wakenya kwamba hata mahakama inapinga mambo ya uchochezi na ukabila.
All right. He at the same time issued a strong warning to drug traffickers after a successful raid in Kitale town on Sunday night led to the seizure of cannabis worth 3 million shillings. The raid, carried out by security officers working alongside the National Authority on Campaigns Against Drug, Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, took place just hours before Jukwaa la Usalama Baraza in Trans Nzoia County. The team included the Anti-Narcotics Unit, Administration Police, and local police who stormed a suspected drug den after weeks of surveillance. 6 people were arrested during the operation and are now being questioned.
We have admitted from our security sector that some of our officers are culpable, and we will be dealing with them immediately. And we are not transferring anybody. They will be receiving their dismissal letters as they go through their court processes to answer why they are facilitating smuggling of drugs and the distribution of drugs and alcohol, illicit alcohol.
Hiyo operation ni part of ile makataa tulipewa na waziri. Alituambia tuingie nyanjani tuanze kupigana na hii miadarati. The operation yesterday was intelligence led na tunaendelea. Tumeshika suspects wawili na katika ile hali ya kuhojiana tumepata majina, namba na distribution centers zingine ambazo nikiwa hapa nasimama, maofisa wako huko kwa ground wanaendelea kufanya upekuzi.
Now, a few days after another controversial religious incident emerged in Binzaro, Chakama, sparking concern among residents, the national government has been urged to deploy more administrative officers to Chakama and Shakahola to prevent the rise of rogue religious groups that could lead to further tragedies. According to Adward representative Samson Kahindi, it has been many years since the government elevated Chakama to a sub-county, yet the position of Deputy County Commissioner remains unfilled. Zia argues that if the government remains committed in fighting rogue religions in the area, it must immediately fill the vacant position.
Katika yale ambayo yalitendeka tangu juzi ni kwamba ni jambo ambalo lilikuwa linatupatia kiwewe, kwa sababu sisi tulikuwa tunajua kwamba katika ile hali ya kwa Makenzi ilikuwa imeisha, kwa sababu serikali ilikuwa imepanga mikakati na kuweka maaskari katika ile sehemu, na serikali iliweza kuchukua ekari zaidi ya 4,800 ili kuhakikisha katika hiyo sehemu hakuna mtu yeyote anaweza kuingia katika hiyo sehemu na kuishi na kukufa. Cha ajabu ni kwamba saa hii tunapata kwamba kuna hizo familia ambazo ziliweza kupatikana juzi, na hata pia saa hii kuna wengine ambao hawajulikani waliko, na tunashuku ya kwamba walikufilia pale ndani. Kuna baadhi ya madhehebu mengine ambayo yako pale Shakahola. Kuna dhehebu moja liko pale Shakahola, ukienda upande wa bridge kuna makaburi hapo. Kuna dhehebu lingine hapo, huyo mchungaji huyo naye yuko katika hiyo hali. Kuzungumza pande zote tatu, Senate, National Assembly na pia County Assembly, tuweze kuja kwa pamoja tuhakikishe kwamba tunaona kwamba hii Kilifi tunailinda vizuri. Kwa hivyo serikali mjue kwamba kuna dhehebu pale. Kuna pale Bombi kuna dhehebu lingine. Mama mwingine hapo ndiye pastor ambaye anaendeleza kama pengine umeenda ni mgonjwa, anakata kuku nyuzie mtu kwa mwili. Lakini hizo ripoti zote ziko. Tuko na Matolani pale, kuna dhehebu lingine nalo. Hilo nalo linafanya vituko. Hiyo tusha ripoti. Kuna kule Adu, kuna kule Marereni, hata juzi tayari wiki iliyopita. Kuna mgonjwa alilala katika nyumba ya watu akiombewa hapo, mtu amefungua dhehebu hapo Marereni.
Rogue religions. One of these days we're going to have a conversation about these rogue religions and how they are coming up. Why are they so popular? How come they have more people, than the true religion? When you start having conversation with some of these people, you realize that they keep on telling people or deceiving people that certain things are going to happen in their lives, and people just like betting. You're constantly waiting or hoping to get to be the next winner of a certain amount of money. So quite a number of people keep on going there, not knowing the majority of these people are just demons walking in human flesh, if you know what I'm saying, because what they've come to do is to steal, kill, and destroy. Those three things, and you know whose ministry that is. Elsewhere, Prime Cabinet Secretary Dr. Musalia Mudavadi has said that Kenya is strategically positioning itself as a regional hub for cancer care, innovation, and treatment. Speaking during the official opening of the second National Cancer Summit in Nairobi, Dr. Mudavadi underscored the urgency of strengthening national and cross-border capacities to fight cancer, describing it as one of the greatest public health threats facing the region. He said the government is scaling up strategic investment in healthcare infrastructure, emerging technologies, and specialized human capital to tackle the rising cancer burden. He added that beyond the health implication, cancer has a far-reaching social and economic consequence, often plunging families into poverty and distress due to high out-of-pocket treatment costs.
Today we stand united, not just in sorrow, but in our resolve to turn the tide against cancer. We are not powerless. We are powerful when we join hands, when we unite our voices, and when we act with purpose. Every Kenyan has a role in this battle. Whether you shape policies, heal patients, educate minds, grow food, or inspire the next generation, your actions matter. Your voice matters. Let us leave this summit not with words alone, but with a commitment to bold, measurable steps towards a cancer-free Kenya. Let us honor those who have lost by ensuring their pain is not the legacy of our future. May we draw strength from our unity, courage from our convictions, and hope from our shared humanity. Together, we can and we will defeat cancer.
Through the National Equipment Service Project, we are strengthening our cancer care by equipping our national and county referral hospitals with essential screening and treatment equipment. Mammograms have already been installed in Kisumu and Kerugoya, while CT scans are operational in 15 county referral hospitals, with installation underway in another 15 additional counties.
Let me say that to ensure that policy translates into impact, counties must operationalize the national strategies pillars, from prevention and screening to diagnostics, treatment and palliative care at every level of the health system. 2, stakeholder coordination must be institutionalized. National government, ministries, county departments, healthcare workers, NGOs, community health volunteers, and development partners must align on plans, funding, and messages.
Now, President William Ruto has called on world leaders to embrace new measures to accelerate efforts to end hunger and meet nutritional needs within global food systems. The president pointed out that while meaningful and significant progress has been made in providing the world with more sufficient, safe, and nutritious food, more needs to be done to make it a universal success. He said although the world's food program, food system now contributes between 10% and 12% of global gross domestic product, translating to around $8 trillion and $10 trillion annually, this is hardly felt in developing countries. Addressing the second UN Food System Summit staged in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, President Ruto said starvation, malnutrition, and undernutrition remain a harsh daily reality for far too many.
It is still possible to reorganize global food systems to accelerate progress towards the SDGs and broader sustainability goals. This requires coordinated focus on 6 key priority areas. First, we must integrate food system strategies into national policies. A unified value chain approach can address interconnected challenges from food and nutrition insecurity to public health and environmental degradation, including climate change. Second, we must strengthen the governance of food systems. Fragmented global responses are counterproductive, and we need stronger policy coherence, greater transparency and accountability, including evidence-based decision-making and capacity building at all levels.
Despite progress, the African continent faces mounting challenges. Yet Africa can feed itself and help feed the world. But this requires, first, development financing. Africa needs predictable concessional finance to invest in agriculture, rural transformation, infrastructure, and nutrition.
Global food insecurity still affects around 10% of the world's population. And this percentage is largely concentrated here in Africa, where 1 on 5 people suffer from hunger and do not have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to lead a healthy life. And we know very well that when people do not have access to sufficient food or lose the means to produce it, the consequences can be catastrophic. Poverty worsens, conflicts intensify, and communities become more vulnerable to violence, terrorism, or forced migration.
We definitely need to take control of food security. And it's a very passionate topic for me because I've been following the world trends on foods. And what I've noticed is that the globalists are slowly but surely taking away the control of people over food, in the sense that you now no longer have control over the seeds. There are foods that are being, or plants that are being done right now, fruits that whose seeds have been taken out, so that when you plant, you have no control. Your tree produces and it has no seed. The fruit has no seed, so you cannot replicate the same. You cannot take seeds, go plant, come up with like a small, seedling and plant for it to become a tree. So that power has been taken away from you. And quite a number of things are going the same way, so that you now have to go back to the shops to buy the seeds so that you're able to give a proper yield. It's true, they give good, and you end up having a lot of produce. But the thing that is taken away from you is the ability to plant that thing again. I've been a farmer, I've planted, and I was forced to go and take the F1 seeds. If you've done that, you know what it means. So you go plant and you get a good yield. The first yield is good if it's taken care of nicely. But after that, you cannot take the way our parents used to do. They from a harvest, you set aside some of the harvest so that you can use it as seed again. You cannot do that. And if you do, then the harvest is really, really bad. So you're forced to go back to the shop to go buy, other seedlings. So that for me is a major concern, because we are losing that control. I was talking to some lady from the States. Actually, I was told about a conversation that took place where she came to Kenya and was shocked. When she was given the Kenyan watermelon, which is full of seeds, she started asking, "Do you eat this?" And she's told, "Kwani, what do you guys do in the States?" She says, "Our watermelon don't have seeds." So that's where the world is going, to a point whereby your food will be under somebody's control. And if you do a research on Bill Gates, you'll find out that he's bought huge swaths of land, and he's doing farming right now. So he's doing both vaccines and farming. So he's going to be giving you the seeds that you will plant as the world. Mark this. You can take this to the bank. Anyway, education stakeholders led by former Kenya Secondary School Heads Association Chairman Kai Indimuli have urged the government to take a more proactive role in managing the country's education system, warning that the sector is on its last breath. Speaking during the retirement ceremony of veteran educator Julius Mutui in Sultan Hamud, Indimuli emphasized the urgent need for reforms and stronger leadership from the Ministry of Education. He noted the increasing challenges in the education sector, ranging from underfunding and staffing shortages to infrastructure gaps threatening the future of quality education in Kenya.
We are also facing some challenges from the pronouncement of our finance CS, Honorable Bandi, and also what we got from CS Education, Julius. I want to say we got shocked. We did not take it lightly, because it was a shock to every person in Kenya, even alone the principals and teachers and students, every citizen of Kenya, because we were expecting this capitation to be announced. But instead, there is a pronouncement of decreasing capitation. We are foreseeing a situation where very soon we are going to have a big number dropping out of school, and also many students not joining grade 10. And I'm very sure from the system, the new system we have, the grade 9 graduates are not yet ready to go into the market.
I want to use this platform to continue asking the government that if we continue underfunding our institutions, they will ground to a halt. Just before I exited service, Mr. Mutui and I and the other chairpersons sat down and wrote a petition to Parliament that clearly showed that schools since 2019, during the advent of COVID-19, schools started receiving less and less capitation. And at the time we were doing the petition, schools were owed 68 billion. We presented that to Parliament. I wish the parliamentarians were here to tell us what happened to the petition. So unless we sit down and think on how schools should be funded, we are grounding to a halt in education.
All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at what's happening in the newspapers. You know, I love the scriptures because the scriptures always say some things, and what the scriptures say always come to pass. Let me give you an example. When the expressway was being done, and trust you me, if there's any person who really appreciates the expressway, it's got to be yours truly. I really enjoy the expressway because, you know, most of the time when you're headed towards Mombasa Road, I mean, the traffic at time is absolutely bananas on the Kawaida Road. But if you use the expressway, you really get to enjoy yourself. You avoid the traffic and you travel expressly. But during the time the road was being done, there were a lot of talks about the ownership of this road, in the sense that quite a number of people are saying, hey, the Kenyattas have a stake in this. Oh, that's the reason why they did the road. Oh, yada, 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 yada. Well, the yada, yada, yada have just exposed itself. The Daily Nation, this is what it says. Tax row exposes Kenyatta family expressway deal. The biashara. So now, it says a contract between Edgeworth Properties and Kale Infrastructure Construction Company, the Nairobi Expressway contractor, would not have raised any eyebrows were it not for a tax feud over millions of shillings. Now, the dispute has exposed another well-kept secret: the Kenyatta family link to the mega road project. Let that sink. Let that sink. Kuna Wakenya na wenye Kenya, basically. It's a beautiful road that was supposed to have been done using taxpayers' money, or wasn't it? But now a situation has arisen, and we now know some of the things behind there. Hiko maneno. Now, this is one thing that is going to be a very controversial topic for men. Knowing the psyche of the African man. The psyche of the African man, what has now been brought forth is that there is a daily pill offer for men, so that instead of your wife being the one who takes, the family planning pill, wewe ndio utakuwa unachukua family planning pill. Yeah, it's already in play. So lazima utakuanga nako ka una countingi 1 2 so that's actually in play right now. The contraceptive has been found safe for human use with no adverse side effects in the first clinical trial of its kind. I know. The men who are watching me, mdomo yao imefunguka iko. But it's true. It's already in place. I have some subjects in the studio who are already saying, hiyo haiwezekani. But it's there. It has been done. Lawmakers called for a review of the 2.75% deduction, citing poor services and system and reliability. Former workers bear crushing SHA levy burden. This month alone, 70,793 formal sector workers contributed 5.9 billion of the 6.7 billion collected by the authority, while the informal sector managed only 780 million. This story expressway is such a good read, because it will either confirm or deny some of the things that we've held at the back of our mind. As to the ownership, because now it's rather obvious that the Kenyatta family are involved. The $1 million question is, how involved are they? And are we, as ordinary Kenyans, paying for this, apart from the agreed way, in the sense that the road, when you use it, that's the time you pay for it. Are we paying for it using taxpayers' money, as in is the government coughing off some money to go and sort out this? Because if it's a private project, then the government should have no business paying any amount into it. Sindio? So we need to find out. It's a good read. I'm going to read it, get to know, and you also read it. They say one of the best way you can hide information and data from an African is putting it in something he needs to read. But we should read this. And even when the finance bills are posted, even when the bills are posted, we should read those bills thoroughly, so that you get to know what your representative is signing you into. Now, how competing interests are threatening to split Raila party. They say that heavyweights are eyeing the same elective seats in the next election, posing a significant risk to the 20-year-old party's unity. Now, I saw something, maybe I'm the one who was not in the picture, but I saw something yesterday. I was just checking some videos and I saw DAPK party, where Eugene Wamalwa's wife, for the first time, this is the first time I've seen of her, or even heard of her, she came into the public and she joined her husband's party. And when she was giving her speech, she mentioned Siaya Senate, Governor James Orengo as being the party's deputy leader. And I wondered, I thought Orengo was in ODM. That's what I heard her say. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I thought Orengo was in ODM. I thought he was in ODM. But now, discovered he's in DAPK. So they say heavyweights are eyeing the same elective seats in the next election, posing a significant risk to the 20-year-old party's unity. And probably he's moved because nomination manenos. You might just not get nominated in our party because everybody wants to be in ODM in most cases, in Luo Nyanza, because they believe the moment you're in ODM, you're already a member of parliament. You should even start taking loans. Because it's as good as done. You should give yourself a car grant, give yourself a mortgage, just like DCP in central Kenya. I mean, it will almost be guaranteed if you're in that party, if you're in Rigiji's party, you will be elected in central Kenya. Whether you are a performer or a non-performer, you will be elected under those parties. That's the unfortunate thing in this country, that if you belong to a party that is owned by a guy who is the kingpin of a community, then you are deemed to be supporting the community. Even though the guy is a non-performer, and you know it very well, the guy cannot even manage a cattle dip. But you want to give him a constituency. So that's the unfortunate thing that is going to happen in this coming election. Hurdles facing opposition's bid to unseat Ruto in 2027. It's a very interesting piece that has been done by a gentleman called Mwagiwa Muirore. Determining their resolves, the leaders are seeking to write history by making a president rule for one term. Then IEBC reviewing Pasari's recall petition. Nairobi MP Esther Passaris at an event in Kunste Hotel. You know very well, somebody went to court, went to the IEBC, and they initiated the recall clause. They want to recall her back. Basically, hakuna kazi. Activists accuse City MP of failing to fully represent interests of Nairobi residents. By the way, ushaiamka asubuhi unaanza kusikia tu uko na njaa. Yaani nimekaa hapa hivi nimesikia njaa. Can you imagine? Paka nashindwa kwani niko na minyoo. It's just weird. Na nilikula, by the way, I ate yesterday. Na nilikula sembe vizuri. Lakini nakaa hapa tu nasikia njaa. Hata labda after a while mtasikia kwa microphone. Anyway. Pressure mounts on state amid funding crisis in public schools. The crisis has exposed a significant financial mismatch that threatens the backbone of the basic education system. If there is anything the president has said of late that has been, something that I fully support, is what he talked about free education. He said the government has no plans whatsoever to roll back the free education pledge that it had given. Okay, the free education or subsidized education for university basically is a thing of the past now. I keep on saying this, that my daughter went to university at a time when the subsidies were there, and we were paying almost around 17,000 shillings for university. Now, vane. Hata wacha nisiseme. There's some stories you just see and you feel like, some people should just be taken, wapelekwe tu mahali pengine alafu waonyeshwe zile vitu tatu Ruto alisema. Nakumbuka ile speech. Kuna vitu tatu, ile ya mwisho. A watchman raped a girl in school, surely. He invaded the school, the school is supposed to protect, the students is supposed to protect. He violated them. Yeah? That is such a bad thing. Then inside there, you have some interesting stuff. You have Amolo Simba, a piece where he says, Mr. President, cut wastage, not capitation for schools. Then startup revolutionizes access to clean, safe water. And then the back page of the Nation, more than a tournament, DR Congo on special assignment. The DRC Minister of Sport, Leisure Didier Budimbo, in Kaunda suit here, I see the guy. Poses for a photo with the team selected to represent the country in the delayed 2024 African Nations Championship, CHAN, on Friday. And these guys are here. They are saying, Sisi Bakongo Tuko. Batashinda Kikombe. You know, I have a friend of mine from DRC, tunamwitanga Matokeo. Now, Matokeo basically is a musician. He also does instruments here at the Redeemed Gospel Church in Buruburu. Interesting story. If you sit with him and he tells you, but he used to play for a secular band when he was young, Virunga. He used to play for that. He got born again. He has very interesting stories. I you know, a number of times I just go sit with him, ask him all the questions of things that I've had, all the Madagodanios you've ever had about what Bakongole superstars do, and how they deceive us using the black magic and black whatever. I've asked him all those things, and very interesting story. Pretty soon we'll be giving you a show that involves testimonies and people just giving their stories and some of the things that have happened, and you will discover that every person has a story. Every person is a novel that you need to read, and you'll leave that place with an even greater experience. All right, let's take a look at the Star. Remember, the Star today is not for sale, because leo ni ile siku. So 23 pending by-elections likely to define trajectory of 2027 election. Very true, very true. And then it says high stakes for Ruto, Raila, and Rigathi in mini polls. The by-elections will see people like Opiyo Wandayi. You remember he was the MP for Unguja. Now a by-election has to be undertaken to basically have somebody replace him. We have William Cheptumo. He was the member of parliament for Baringo. Then we have Harrison Komba wa Magarini, Kulo Maalim wa Banisa, then Geoffrey Roko of Mbeere North. Roko is now a CS. Then Malulu Ijendi is deceased. He was in Malava. Ongendowere Kasipul, deceased. Paul Leshimpiro Manyeke MCA. Hey! Hiyo njaa imezidi. You remember something I told you some time back? I told you that I don't like the agenda at times I read in the Star newspaper. The second page of the Star newspaper, it's talking about transgender and drug addicts deserted in fight against HIV. That's a whole lot of crap. For real, it's a whole lot of crap. And this guy is Gordon who? Gordon Hussein. Most of the time, some of the stuff he writes are just, the second page you see, they have LGBTQ, this, they have weird stuff. And I get, I read, maybe I read them wrong, but most of the time I read a motive to promote, which for me is, we will never allow it. I know there's a great push in this country to have that weird life into our system, but we refuse. We completely refuse. It is not, first and foremost, it is not godly, then it is not African, and it is not natural. So and still it's unconstitutional. So we have 4 reasons why we reject it. It's not godly, it's not godly. Again, it's not African. It is not, I'd say it is not natural. And finally, it is against the Constitution. So on those 4 grounds, we reject it. Then we have a situation here where a man is going to serve 30 years for murdering an M-Pesa woman. Rispa's body was found buried in a shallow grave after a 2-month search. This thing is going to bring a lot of Madhogodhanios for quite a number of people. This high stakes for Ruto, Raila, and Gachagua in 23 by-elections. Because it's whoever is going to walk away with, people have been saying that President William Ruto is hated. But let me tell you something, the by-election is going to prove, it's going to be a glimpse into 2027 on how the current Kenya Kwanza government is going to perform. If they sweep these seats, if they sweeping meaning they win the seats, then all that people have been saying and the Gen Zs and all that Madhogodhanio will be a mirage. But they're definitely going to be, it's a tough work for them. It is for Raila, Ruto, and Gachagua. And you have pictures of all the parties involved there. And then there is new political wave challenging Ruto and Raila's dominance, defiant, assertive, and fearless brand, breaking away from traditional style. And they give now the pictures. You have those who are included or regarded as the new wave. You have Caleb Amisi, you have Embakasi MP Babu Owino, Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, and Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna. Among 4 of the people who are speaking their mind, they're shooting from the waist and getting the powers that be very uncomfortable. They're getting very uncomfortable. 1 million Kenyans, climate projects transform lives. All right, good reading. Remember today's paper has MyGov. If you're one who basically looks for tenders and that kind of stuff, MyGov is a place to be. Then you have this, the back page of the Star. Brace up for more. Relentless Kipyegon not done chasing records yet. Hey, this girl. Hey. Eh? There's no stopping this girl. I mean, she runs. Faith Kipyegon. Oh, it's just amazing. And then the Standard newspaper, this is the headline, betraying Kenyans. Then you have two faces there. You have two faces there, Musalia Mudavadi and President William Ruto. And what does it say? Kenyans are being abducted, tortured, and dumped across East African borders, yet their government watches in silence. This is what we talked about yesterday. From human rights activists, Mwabili Mwagodi, left drugged and traumatized in Diani after 4 days of torment in Tanzania, to the earlier seizure and sexual assault of Boniface Mwangi and Ugandan journalist Agatha Muhaire. The pattern is chilling, with no formal charges, no consular access, and no accountability demanded. Those incidents raise the alarm of a brewing diplomatic disaster. At the center of the storm are President William Ruto and Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who have failed to condemn the violation of or defend Kenya's sovereignty. Critics now accuse the state of betrayal, worse, complicity. Frozen out, Kenya has forsaken me, Olympians say as she mulls quitting. Oh dear. The only Kenyan participating in Winter Olympics, and she, vile Kenya haina snow, apart from the glaciers on Mount Kenya, well, this one, she is good, but now she's saying she's contemplating not representing Kenya. Honky Tonk, Kenya, where country music has found an unlikely home. By the way, have you noticed the number of people these days who are just listening to country music? Maybe in Vilesmi nilitoka Nairobi, because Wasapiri na wa Cambodia, that country music, people are playing it and listening to it seriously. Seriously. Police keep court in trial of killer Pangani police officer. Then education system on the brink of slashed funding, threatens free learning. Where? Lawmakers blame for free education wars. Then there's a story here says Kenya Kwanza administration showing signs of intolerance. I've seen a Range Rover, my favorite car, that was stoned. Sad. Then you have a story of an Airbnb owner recounting chilling scenes of Starlet Wahu's murder. Poor girl. Now, the court was yesterday told that the charges being faced by former Nairobi Governor Sonko were actually fabricated at State House. Then you have Marriott Hotel faces backlash over its luxurious safari camp in Mara. Then land grabbing in Kitale prompts National Security Council action. NHIF workers in limbo as SHA moves to advertise positions. Then you have the Social Health Authority CEO, Mercy Mwangangi. Hey, Mwangangi, I'm telling you. Technopolis bill positions Kenya as tech powerhouse, senators say. And then the back page of the Standard is Morocco eye historic third charm title. Oh, Morocco are the champions, or defending champions of charm. All right, we'll see. I'm mostly not a very footballing person, despite the fact that I used to play football when I was young. And I keep on telling my friends that the reason why I backslid from football was because there was a time I was watching, what's the name of this team? It was Barcelona and Arsenal. And I think either the match was played at Camp Nou or at the Arsenal field. I was a Barcelona supporter because of Ronaldinho. But hiyo siku tulihema. That team was running from one side to the other. But when they got their flow, hey, Arsenal saw dust and goals because they were beaten. And because I would watch it and feel a lot of tension at one point, I remember holding my heart and feeling as though my heart was going to seize. Because of tension, I decided, pana, I'm never going to subject myself to this. And that's how my love, I divorced football, because she was not good for me. She was just stress, kunipatia shida mingi kwa roho. I divorced football, and now I married something else. So there will be football in Kenya. Let's see how this plays out. Let's really see. I pray that the management is really good. The first matches will be, and that's the third is this Sunday. Morocco and Egypt and Angola will be playing, and then Kenya and Morocco will be playing, and then afterwards we'll have Morocco and Zambia. But these ones will happen on different dates. Sunday, August 3rd, then August 20, then August 14th, and then August 17th. The matches will play. So make a date with them and see whether you can watch and get your team to win. Support your team to win. Sindio? Sisi wote, we are supporting Team Kenya. Even though I know they won't win. Oh, no, na Kenya, Alan is saying, aye. But surely, unaona Kenya ikipiga Angola, Morocco, Zambia, DRC. Yeah, but with football, it's not, you never know. Here, hakuna mahali team in Kenya is not, there's, okay, let's do this. Let me see from Facebook the people who support, who believe that Kenya is going to win CHAN. I'm seeing Teddy Samis is saying he's watching. Teddy, you're a footballer and you normally commentate on football. I want to see. Unasema Kenya can win this CHAN. Hapana. I don't think so. Forgive my lack of confidence in the Kenyan team. It's not that I'm not patriotic. I'm really patriotic. I'm really patriotic. But you know, there are places where you just use your common sense. You look at the trends, what has happened in the past, and unajijazia. Kenya haiwezi shinda CHAN. Kenya, if Kenya wins CHAN, hey. Tutafanya news na Angela. Angela is a very nice lady in the office who is the one who's been doing some, you know, every time I tell you, wow, the tea is something else, the tea is all this, she's the one who does it. So, if Kenya wins CHAN, tutakaa na Angela hapa, tusome news. Konini. Sawa. Well, we got to bring down the curtains on the show. Reverend Felix Kavoy is coming in for Your Faith at around 9. So please stay tuned. Let your faith be built up. Teddy is also going to be coming in at 2 p.m. for Manukato. Sawa. Let me go take some tea. Nasikia njaa. I am so hungry. I can eat an elephant. I am so hungry. But anyway, let me go Let me organize Manenos. Good morning.